the
Yeah.
cartoonification of fashion. So this is kind of a trend that's going through right now, if you can call it as much. On screen right here, we have a Loewe piece from a recent collection that's basically like a pixelized shirt and
It,
pants, like
it
Minecraft
it looks
blocks.
like a Minecraft skin. Yeah.
Yep. And they also call out like the Balenciaga steroid boots
Yeah.
that are basically like clown shoes, the Prada puffy loafers and bags and things
Kind
like
of a
that.
kind of a stretch there. This one more or less.
And finally, of course,
Of course.
the Mischief big red Astro Boy boots.
Yeah. So the kind of the Twazi article is suggesting that there's a lot of like cartoonish oversimplification of these garments or silhouettes to for some effect.
Yeah,
Um
exactly. And that there's some sort of something interesting there because it's playing with the hyper real. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm
I don't
listening.
know if you ever did this in school, but you would get a prompt for like an essay or something, and you would just sit down at your computer and be like, all right, gotta crap this one out. What do
Gotta
we
write
got here?
something.
You know what I mean? It's, I would say, a tenuous connection to make between the cartoonism and hyper reality and the metaverse. It's just kind of taking a bunch of buzzwords and concepts and trying to kind of meld them together. I think what the interesting thing is here to me is that it is something that multiple designers are doing, playing with this kind of blown up, cartoonish, video gamey kind of aesthetic. And I'm curious to talk on that because I have my thoughts about the whole deal with this thing and how it lands. But let's go over to you for a bit here. What do you think?
Let's go over to Christian. Thanks,
Yes.
Wolf. So I'm here in the middle of the war zone. So my immediate thought when you suggested this was
Mhm.
like like looking at the Loewe piece, and I love J Dubs. I think
Oh,
I'm a
yeah.
stan of him. I think I've promoted him on multiple opportunities. This looks chuggy to me. This looks chuggy.
So
This
you,
looks
I'll pull back the curtain here for a second. Going into these podcasts, we have like a planning document where we just throw ideas around leading up to every show, and you use that word in reference to this in that document, and that was a new word to me. So
oh
enlighten me,
no.
please.
Oh no, that means you're chuggy.
Oh God,
That that
I'm
means that
I'm I'm chuggy wuggy.
you're
What
a
does it mean? Chuggy was a bear. What?
you're a millennial, which is
Mhm.
like means you're like 3 seconds away from being a boomer.
Yep.
Me, a zoomer.
Mm.
I look at things that are millennial, like The Office or like J. Crew from 20 years ago, and I go, ugh, gross,
Ooh.
chuggy. Chuggy,
Okay.
chuggy for anybody who's listening is a young person slang word to basically mean be derisive about anything that is very millennial in aesthetic,
Hmm.
like a la the 2000s or 2010s. So like I look at this T-shirt that we were
Yeah.
looking at, this Loewe one. It makes me think of like there were bags on Etsy, like when you were in high school, I'm assuming
Hmm.
that where like they were made like it looks like a cartoon, it's flat.
Yes.
Like there was like a bunch of stuff that you could like buy from Urban Outfitters or something that was like it's like a cartoon. Um
I'm totally
and
recalling these now. Yeah,
I
100%.
I get the whole trick of the eye thing. I can't pronounce the
Mhm.
French one, but it's the trick of the eye.
Trompe l'oeil.
See, this is why we keep this guy around.
French
The
class,
trompe
baby.
l'oeil
Yeah.
of it is kind of interesting. Um, but I mean, like just looking at like the way that this begins this post, it says like increasingly brands are cartoonifying their collections, resulting in clothing and accessories better suited for digital avatars than humans. It feels like the whole metaverse thing is so like shoehorned into being relevant.
Oh God, yeah.
Metaverse is at best 10 years away. It is in no way, shape, or form a function of our lives.
And
And
here's an
this,
interesting thing about that is that, are we just seeing things that are a little bit behind in the pipeline, because I feel like maybe a year and a half ago, a million brands were like, we're a metaverse brand now. We
Oh,
bought
I know.
land in the sandbox or in the metaverse or whatever, and we opened the Gucci vault there, and were there workflows that started then to be like, all right, time to put this into our clothes, that are just now hitting the runway.
Yes, yes, Queen. That is correct. Basically, the way that Silicon Valley has become, it's like it's just taking L's. Like last year, they were like the metaverse. Facebook will invest $1 trillion, and then like a month later, it's like Facebook has lost
Oh
$1
no,
trillion.
our stock cratered.
And now everyone's like, "You like AI though, right? Talk to this robot. Think about that." And now, like, we're gonna see all the delayed chat G. I always call it chat GDP, chat gross domestic
Yeah.
product. Um, and well, that's going to be the fashion that we're going to see down the pipeline before we know it. But I guess like the one piece that is pretty relevant in this whole lineup is the Astro Boy boots by Mischief.
Yes, I was just about to head back to these bad boys. So, if listeners, viewers aren't familiar, Mischief is like a stunt brand, I guess is the easiest way I could describe it. They're
I
always just go ahead.
I think they're like an art collective at best. I think
Mhm.
at worst they're a cynical creative agency.
Yeah.
I've done research thinking about making a video about them, but I don't know. It's hard to put a finger on it. It's the kind of thing where you're like, I don't know if I dislike you because you're corny, or I
Mhm.
deeply respect you because you're doing things that are artistic. I'm not sure,
It's a
but
great question, and here's the thing is I have, like, dove a little deeper as well, like, looking at their app and website and things, and they put out a lot of product. I think they put out a lot more stuff than actually gets traction,
mhm,
and some of the kind of, like, deeper cuts, the B-sides of their release catalog are things that I've looked at and been like, "Oh, that's actually kind of interesting or funny," or, whatever. But the things that seem to really hit for them
are
also, I
the
mean, I guess this is just pop culture and the algorithm, the lowest common denominator kind of floats to the top, at least occasionally. Um, but I think it falls more into the more negative side of the adjectives that you were using to describe them before.
And to provide a little more context,
Yeah.
Mischief is externally, if you're unfamiliar, it is by all definitions internet pranksters or an
Mhm.
art collective. Their first major viral moment came from the Nike quote unquote like holy Jesus shoes,
Mhm.
where they put like holy water in Air Maxes, and it's like you're walking on water. And their intention with that was literally to create something to go viral. So,
Mhm.
like to get, conservatives riled up, to get libtards going, yes, Queen, step on God. It was by definition a stunt. They were not partnering with Nike. It was just
Yeah.
to show kind of how curious internet culture is, where such a thing would be viral. So they do a bunch of stuff like that, where they don't seem to they're not like a clothing brand. They're not like producing
No.
regular products.
Yeah.
They are rather doing different kind of stunts, which occasionally coincide with them creating and releasing a product. And that is the red boots that look just like the Japanese onome Astro Boys. It looks like Astro Boys feet.
Yeah.
And they're big plastic or rubber boots. And these went viral. These went big time.
Huge. Yeah.
And they definitely look cartoonish. They look outrageous.
I think it's very fitting that you brought up the fact that they are not a traditional apparel brand,
No.
right? Because I think that's where things like this specifically stop working for me, is that if they were actually really, really trying to do something new with the way a person can look in creating shoes and apparel items that have a unique and different and anime inspired, oversized, kind of plasticky, whatever aesthetic, I can get down with that. Even if it doesn't look good, I can get down with the
Yeah.
concept, but it's a one-off for virality, and that's where it stops working to me.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I don't fully comprehend the sophistication or like the nuance that goes into a designer's like creating collection after collection, developing and building on an idea or an aesthetic.
Mhm.
I'm not sophisticated enough to get those words, but I did like the Astro Boy boots. If it's a one off, if it's just this and there is no like connection to a deeper design meaning, I still think
Yeah.
it's funny and weird. It's a
Sure.
bizarre thing,
Yeah.
and I guess we're gonna see Astro Boy. If I remember correctly,
Mhm.
he's a robot, but he's got red boots, and then I think he has like a kind of like an underwear. But then I'm pretty sure
Yes.
he's naked on top. If I
Now I
remember
gotta bring it
correctly.
up.
Pull up a picture of Astro Boy for me.
I most certainly can. Give me a moment
Okay.
here.
I'll keep the audience busy. Hey, how's everyone feeling tonight? Can I get a hell yeah in the comments?
Hey.
Yeah, see, Astro Boy has no shirt on. So I want to see some of those looks. I want to see some of that.
See,
Some of that.
if they come out, if this had been the entire look, if they created these briefs, but they were like puffy, plasticky, hyper unreal, like rendered 3 CG looking briefs with the
Hell
boots
yeah.
and like some sort of helmet or something, I would
Love that.
actually be kind of hyped, I think.
I mean, I'm quasi hyped. I because I've been curious about Mischief for a little bit. Brooklyn Love. They're in Brooklyn. So I was on the mailing list, and I saw like when they were first started hyping these. I'm like, that's curious.
Mhm.
Because I don't know, they're weird. They're
Yeah.
kind of cool for being so weird.